Fucking these motherfuckers gonna be late.
Oh, yeah. You should have told them in advance what time we were meeting.
I hate it.
Like, had like a plan
also,
or something.
Don't think like you get a pass overall. Like, don't you even like just because you're here on this? Man, that makes my teeth look real yellow. Is that my lighting? Or is it my yellow teeth?
Both.
Gentlemen, we are gathered here once again. Actually, no, wait, no, it's the same day. Just our camera angles changed.
Yeah,
Some of us have shorter hair. We're looking a bit different. Hunter's consistent.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, everything's fine. But we're here to talk about the best moment or sequence of 2021. This remains to be probably my favorite category every year, but it is what if best character was a gameplay, but also like a level.
I can't wait for what if best character was a game. That's my favorite category.
That's a good one. I think we could do that. But yeah, this is like the best kind of like level or experience, or oftentimes a game might have like a really incredible single thing that is worth calling out. And it doesn't end up making any other categories. Like I've got a couple things. I've got one game on here that I want to call out, but my moment or sequence, while not necessarily a all new moment or sequence, as it harkens back to something I think a lot of veteran players of this franchise know and well. My number 3 moment or sequence of 2021 came from one afternoon after Daniel Devonshire's birthday party this year, where after an afternoon of eating food and playing some board games at a board game bar, we went back to my house and booted up the new release of Mario Party Superstars. In Mario Party, we're certainly no strangers to absolute horseshit, but during Danny's time playing Mario Party, he got completely, absolutely, unequivocally shit on the entire game, trying to make a single play happen, which was there's this mysterious door that none of us knew what was on the other side, other than that it was like some big boo. Danny loaded up on keys, circled around the map over and over and over, trying to get in this door, and one thing or another just kept not allowing it to happen. But eventually, on like the last few turns of the game, Danny gets through the door, talks to King Boo, and upon talking to King Boo, we discover that this is a Boo that has the ability to steal not 1, but 3 stars from any player. So naturally, as Danny had done nothing all game, not spent coins on anything, Danny was able to do this and promptly stole 3 stars from me. This allowed me to not only shoot backwards in rankings, but Danny to number 1, who goes on to win the game at the end of everything. And this absolute horse shit, I was rooting for Danny at this point, because it was so great to watch this Cinderella story, and it perfectly encapsulates what I love about Mario Party, in that it is complete fucking horse shit. And getting to do that again easily on a modern console just makes me very happy. And I could think of few singular moments that just had me standing up, hooting and hollering more than Danny fucking on me in Mario Party.
I still need to get my Mario Party on a little bit more. I haven't played like a 4-person computer-free game yet.
They don't have 50 turns in the port, but
that's for the best.
30 turns is still pretty fine.
That's enough. That's still like 3 or 4 hours probably.
666 turns, baby.
Look, they can't all be great game designers like moi, but no, I still really like. I think it's unfortunate that Mario Party remaster it's not good enough to like make a ton of other categories, but it's still like really solid, and I'm really glad it exists. But it does the thing, and it's Mario Party.
Which
It's
is
a
good
known
because
plot.
Mario Party hasn't done the thing for a while.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
that's what I like about
Everybody's
it.
in one little car and we're all going together.
Like, I would
Also,
love them
mini
to-
games are optional.
I'd love them to do like expansions or like DLC for it to just give me more maps or something. But what's there is honestly fine. And
Yeah, it'd be cool if they
Fuck
add
that
some more classic games later on. I don't even really care that much about maps. Like there aren't that many, but that doesn't bother me that much.
they
But like I
got
just want to play. I just
everyone
want to
they
play a
have is
bunch of.
good.
I just want to play a bunch of the classic games. But they got some of my favorite games from 3. So gotta love the roll around a snowball game. That's always been one of my favorites. That and TikTok Clock.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they
Hunter-
get sued now.
it was myself,
social
Danny,
media
Hunter, and
platform.
Zane
I
playing.
thought you meant by Kesha.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that relevant thing to talk about. Let's talk about Kesha. What's
Wake up
Kesha
in the
to?
morning feeling like Mario.
But with that, Ryan, waking up in the morning feeling like P Diddy is a lot like your number 3. I've heard.
I think so. I think for mine, my number 3, I'm gonna go with like the last bit of Little Nightmares 2.
Oh yeah, that part.
Yeah, which I spent
my favorite part.
I spent the past few days trying to convince Jason, the only one who would ever play it, to play it.
I turned it on right when work ended today, and I was running through a hallway with a bunch of hands trying to grab me, and I couldn't get through it after 3 tries, so I turned it off.
Is that why
Yeah.
you were late?
No,
We
I was
will,
doing other shit.
we may get to talking about that a little bit later. Are you cool if I spoil it? Do you care?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I speaking for myself and not the group.
I don't give a shit.
Hunter,
I
do you
don't
give
think
a
I,
shit?
I don't
I'll
think I was
for-
ever
I'll
going
forget
to
it
play
anyway.
Little Nightmares too. So no.
It's a
I don't
game.
care.
It's not. It's gameplay based. So even if I know how it ends, it won't bother me. If I
Yeah,
decide to
and
go
it's
back to
all
it.
it's all kind of weird and abstract anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But you basically kind of at the halfway point of the game, they introduce this like tower that's in the background. Like every time you finish a level, you see it and you're like getting closer. And then the boss from that is like messing with you every so often. But you finally get there, you get inside, and it gets like really weird, really abstract, where it's not based in like a real environment anymore. It has like really not complicated puzzles, but clever ones of like you have to figure out what door to walk through by using environmental clues. You get to the end and like your partner throughout the game got kidnapped right before you went in there, and she's all just like horrible and disfigured and scary. So it's got like a really cool chase sequence. And then at the very end, after you like rescue her and do all this stuff, she betrays you and you drop into this. It gets pretty close to like what ends up happening near the end of like Inside, where you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Because you get dropped in this like really realistic like flesh pit basically, and it's all just
Ooh.
like big eyeballs are looking at you and it's all just gooping everywhere. And so it like takes this, it's still like weird, but it takes this step away from like kind of looking like doll Tim Burton type thing to like a realistic flesh pit. And it's like, what the fuck happened? But it was really cool. And the reason it's number 3 is because there's a couple of rooms in that whole sequence that are just straight up trial and error bullshit that ruin the whole thing. But it's only one room in one moment. But I died 175 times in that game, and I think 100 of them were in one room specifically.
It tells you how many times you died.
When you check your stats on Xbox, yeah.
Huh. Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't realize it was one of those kinds of games.
we will maybe get to that later. And maybe
Little
if it should have been one of those kind of games, or if that completely ruins it. But
Little
the last bit
Nightmares
is really
2,
cool. And worth it.
prepare to die.
What is it about Inside likes that have to invoke big fleshy things?
It's got good flesh feel.
We can
Yeah.
spoil Inside because everyone who's familiar with our extended universe would have listened to that podcast, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It does kind of like a what the fuck thing, but it doesn't have the weird cathartic gameplay of just smushing everybody. But it does have weird flesh bits.
Is
I
the
do-
flesh pit
We all
like
got weird flesh bits.
flesh
Yeah.
colored, or is it like red or something?
It has like a Doom level.
No, it's like it's kind of like if you take the Doom level thing, or like what was that one really shitty game that you were in hell?
Oh, Agony.
Agony, like kind of like that, but then you put it in like this like tilt shifted focus on it that just makes it look like really realistic.
Okay.
If
Sounds
that's what
gross.
it is, gross, but in a very good way.
Hunter, what do you think is gross but in a really good way?
My number 3, I was meant to say this when you were talking about it, but I was eating ravioli.
I'm joking.
My number 3 is also Danny's King Boo thing, specifically because like the 3 skeleton keys he got that he ended up using, he got like the second turn, and he did not get to use them until turn like 29.
It was incredible shit. Like frequently like missing the thing by like one thing or like miscalculating like the singular mission to get through this door, and then it somehow paid off and came away with the victory. So you know what? Great. Nah,
Yeah,
that's great.
there was one point where he was like 7 spaces away from where he needed to get to it or something. But then the star moved in front of him and he did not recount how many spaces he needed to go because the star doesn't count as a space when you move past it. So he ended up missing the spot he needed to land on. And I'm pretty sure that's when he was like using one of the dice that lets you choose specifically what number you move.
Yeah.
I can't believe he made it the whole game too. Like I'm glad it paid off because I feel like at like turn 20, if I was just getting fucked on the whole time, be like, yeah, you know what?
I
Why don't
I
we
was
do
feeling
something
really,
else?
really bad. But
Happy birthday, Danny.
Happy birthday, Danny. Jason. Happy birthday, Jason. What's your number 3? Is your birthday a good moment or sequence?
Happy birthday, Jason.
Jason, it's your birthday.
My number 3 is it's you know that one time in Resident Evil Village where Ethan's hand gets fucked up.
That one time? No, I'm not sure. What's the one time that happens?
Yeah, which one time?
It's
When he
that
gets
one
his
time.
hand bitten off? Is
It's
it
that one time. It's only happened once. But no, I'm only halfway through the game, so I'm really hoping it happens a couple more times. But it's just one of those things where it's like it takes this kind of spooky game, and the first time it happens, you're like, oh fuck, that sucks. Like that was intense. When he gets his fucking fingers chopped off.
bitten off like right
Yeah, like
here.
like two of his fingers are bitten off.
On your gun
And
hand,
then-
I might
Yeah.
add.
And then like a little while later, you get captured and fucking hung up by 2 hooks that they put through the palms of your hands. And
Which
that
obviously, if you're hung up by your hands, how do you get off the hooks?
you'll rip it through.
Yeah, you rip
Yeah.
through.
And then they just heal.
Yep, you pour the magic stuff on them.
Yeah, he
And
got
then-
he got magic water and a bandage. He's
And
fine.
like, and then like that one's like, okay. I mean, they did it twice. They fucked his hands up twice. And then later, you're in the dungeons, running around, running away from Big Lady, and you go to fucking open, like you grab like a handle to like turn something on to open a door, and you're just fucking your hand gets chopped off at the wrist all the way through,
and
it
it's just stuck on the
and it
handle.
just stays on the handle. You keep running around, and you have to like lure her away from it to give you more time. Then you go back over to it, and you like pull it off the handle, and just like pour the fucking health shit on your wrist and just like squish it back on and start wiggling your fingers, and then you're good to go.
The handle was the moment I'm like, okay, they're in on it.
Yeah,
Like-
it's like
like-
it's like every time it happened, it like was funnier every time and like took away from the tension of being like a horror survival game. And I think that's a good thing. Like they're in on the bit once you hit that third one where his hand gets cut off and then glued back on with just liquid you picked up off the ground.
It's so good. It's
My
so
favorite part
good.
about it is that the liquid also fixes his jacket.
It's magic.
But that was my third favorite single moment that definitely only happened once.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
It's one
I-
really long segment.
again, Resident Evil 8 is absolute tonal whiplash the entire game. In a
That's
way
the way
that's
it
like
should be.
it's good. Yeah, it's like Resident Evil 8
Yeah.
is the Resident Evil 4 of Resident Evil 7s, if that makes sense.
Chris Redfield burst through the ceiling and asked where the ass wipe is.
Chris Redfield and his team in the first like 10 minutes of the game just open fire on your house and murder your girlfriend.
And then he goes and wipes his butt.
She's his wife at that point.
Whatever.
I guess she was always his wife because she was his wife in 7 too.
He's a wife guy.
My wife.
What my wife guy. No, I don't have a segue for that one. So in Forgotten City, is everyone here familiar with the basic premise of Forgotten City? Can I
Fuck
like
no.
say that?
I have
Okay.
literally no
Skyrim
idea
mod.
what this game is.
Okay.
Jason forgot.
The Forgotten City, it is a kind of like narrative
I
adventure
know there's a
game
gun.
that's it. You are put in this like ancient Roman city where everyone who is there, it's like 20 or so different citizens, are told, hey, if anyone breaks the law, everyone fucking dies.
That's real life.
Yeah, so it's like if any person here in this, any of these 20 people break the law, there will be divine retribution. Everyone is going to get killed. This is a time loop game, so when you are there, if you break a law or if you do anything, or if a law is broken, sure enough, divine retribution comes down. Everyone like gets fucking turned to gold, and you have to like run out of there and restart the loop before you die. One of the things that the citizens do, because they're afraid of a law being broken, is there is like a token village idiot. His name is Dooley, and they lock him up in a jail even though he hasn't like done anything. But they charge him with like some fucking like fake crime. But when you talk to people, they're kind of just like, yeah, we lock him in the cage because like we're really worried about him kind of doing something that's gonna make the gods come down and fucking kill everyone. So like, and you talk to Dooley, he doesn't know why he's there. He's very much like a special needs individual. He doesn't know why he's there. He's really sad, and they play it in a way that's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna try to get this guy out of here. So one of like the little arcs is you elect a new leader to these people, and then one of the things he does is he will let Dooley out of jail, which he does. He goes over there and lets him out and say, "Oh, Dooley, you're a free man." He's so thankful, all of this stuff, and then within like a minute of him getting out, couple minutes, because the game like kind of operates on like a clockwork schedule. Within 2 minutes, he like sees a thing he wants from the nearby food stall and just takes it because he's hungry. Immediately when he does that, the world ends. The gods come down and just fucking smite everyone because he stole something. And I cannot believe that they threaded that needle of like, oh no, they locked him up for a good reason. And then when you reset the loop, like he's back in jail, nobody is any the wiser. But then you have to know, I can't let that guy out of jail. And I think that was played incredibly well, and I thought it was genuinely funny when I saw him get out and then promptly end the world. I think it is one of the better moments from that game.
I
But
should
with
keep
that,
playing that game.
I think it's worth finishing. It's a lot of the novelty runs thin in it.
Yeah.
That game's not disappointing enough to make a top 3, but it's worth finishing.
Okay.
But with that, Ryan, what is enough to make a top 3? More specifically, what's enough to make a top 2 on your
Top
moments or
2.
sequences?
My number 2 was finding titty anime stickers in Forza 5.
Hunter's Ring.
I was going in to customize my car, just like, I'm bored. I don't feel like driving around. I'm going to customize my car. I think I had Dash on the headset when I did
we were
it.
talking.
Just chatting about, it's fun driving around, driving down a mountain. And I open up the custom made stickers thing on the first day within hours of launch. And there's anime babes I can put all over my car, which
There was a
I
2B
always-
that I did just
Put him on. Did you put him on the Countach?
no, I
no,
put 'em
because
on
that
the-
looks like a solo or a fucking
it looks like a drink cup.
yeah, drink cup.
Dixie cup. No, I put it on the hood of a Bronco that I painted like doo-doo brown. But just I always forget that weebs are also into cars. So you boot up this thing that it's kind of coded to be like bro-y and manly and all that stuff. There's just anime babes all the way through the thing. So obviously you put them on all your cars and just be as annoying as possible. Seeing that, I laughed so hard and I told everyone I knew because it was so funny to me.
I've got a long-standing tradition in Forza games of when it gets to the late game and I'm just like getting all of these crazy expensive cars just for fuck it. When you go to redeem them, it lets you like pick the color that you want, but it doesn't default to the factory-made colors. It defaults to the online things people have made. So I kind of just got in the habit of whenever I get a new car, it's like I'm gonna find the worst anime, just whatever thing on here, and that's gonna. So it's like I'll get like a fucking Bugatti Veyron, but just covered in anime titties, and it's the best. So it's like if you go in and like look at my garage, it's just half anime girl cars.
So funny.
But
That was our
Hunter,
number 2, discovering that.
what is your number 2 anime girl car?
There's a moment in It Takes Two. We talked about it a little bit last time, where they want to make their daughter cry, so because they think it'll make them grow bigger. So they confront her favorite toy, and it's real nice. It hugs the dad, and he's like, oh, he's like genuinely heartfelt that this thing is hugging him. And then the mom says, Cody, stop, we need to kill it. And then it's like, what? And then you have to like grab it out of a claw machine, and then you just brutally murder it by dragging it towards the edge of a cliff. A thumbtack gets caught in its ear, and you're just like, it's bluffing. And they just pull it some more and rip its ear off. And then they just, it's clinging on to the side of the cliff, begging you to not kill it. And they're just like stomping on its little elephant toy hands. And then it falls to its death. And
They do get the daughter to cry.
Yeah, the daughter starts crying, and they're like, "Oh yeah!" And they like start dancing. Yeah, they cheer and start dancing around underneath her, just getting showered by her tears. Like, hey, wait, this isn't working.
Best family game. So says Jeff Keighley.
It's a
Little
game
elephant.
about a family.
Little elephant murder never hurt nobody.
That section is also just so like brutal, like because it's not over like quick, like, oh, let's just push it over the edge. I think they drag it out for like at least
Yeah.
2
Oh yeah,
minutes.
it takes a lot longer than it should.
Like
No, it's
they
the
do that
perfect
thing where
amount
it's
of
like
time.
this isn't funny anymore, but then it loops back around to being really, really funny because they go for it for so long. That's a good one.
Good shit.
The second you said It Takes Two, I'm like, oh yeah, it's the elephant. It's killing the elephant. As much as I do like a Moon Baboon, ain't nothing better
It was
than
right, by the way.
Moon Baboon did nothing wrong. Jason, what is your number 2 Moon Baboon of the year?
So for my number 2, I went with like an actual fun gameplay part of a game. And this is another one that's more not really a single moment or sequence, but a recurring portion of a game. that
Oh
I
yeah,
really
because you haven't talked
enjoyed.
about something like that.
But it was all of the Clank puzzles and Ratchet and Clank, where you're like making the little ghost Clanks run and having to do the puzzles with the different orbs. I just thought like the first one of those that I did was a nice little shift from what I had been doing so far in the game. So whenever I got to do one of those, it was like a nice little puzzle break away from just the third person goofy shooter thing. And they were all, none of them were so hard that they made me angry, but they weren't so easy that it was just a joke.
So you wouldn't know this because it's your first one, but the Ratchet and Clank games have it is a long-standing tradition to have Clank-based puzzle things interspersed through the game.
Mm-hmm.
They are almost always kind of tedious and shitty. With a
Yeah,
couple
that's also a
exceptions.
long-standing tradition. Is that
Yeah.
the Clank segments, except in one other game?
That being said,
terrible.
this is probably the second best one, and I actually think that they landed on this one. Ryan, it kind of does some of the stuff like they did with the Time Clank
Mm-hmm.
in Crack in Time, but it's a lot more kind of almost like Lemmings of like trying to get like platforms arranged in ways, or like, it's like, oh, this thing is gonna like launch them and then it needs to do this, and like it's
Oh, I gotcha.
it's
Yeah, you have to like
pretty
you
good.
speed them up. You have a thing that like makes them heavy, a thing that makes them like shoot up in the air to get through like a little different course, or if you need to make them like turn around a corner, and you have to get like 10 little Clanks that are just jumping off of a cliff to the end of the room because they act as like the key to open the door.
Yeah, like within the context of Ratchet and Clank, like Clank puzzles, this is one of the best ones. It's actually pretty fun. And again, like Jason said, it's never like like frustratingly difficult, but there are times where it's like I do have to like sit there and like kind of think about it for a minute.
Yeah, and
That's
like they
that's good.
were,
It's a hard balance to.
and they were fun. Like it
get
was a fun like, because like in that game, it's not one where like the person watching you play is going to give you suggestions for 90% of the game. But like if you're playing one of those puzzles, if someone's watching you play the game, they can be like, "Oh, try this thing." So it's a fun way for like other people to interact. Because like my friend that you got the PS5 for, he came over to pick it up, and I happened to just be playing Ratchet, and I like hopped into one of those levels right as he showed up. So he sat down and like watched me get through the whole puzzle before you left.
I honestly think they make it so like you can totally skip it if you want to. Like if you are really just like that frustrated with it, you can't figure it out. I think like you can just like do a thing and it skips it.
Oh, really? I didn't really notice, but I didn't find any of them. Like I
Yeah,
never
none of
like,
them are crazy.
I never like turned the game off and had to come back to it during a puzzle. Like I got through all of them after a few minutes, like nothing crazy.
You can kind of solve all of them, but just like if you are that up against the wall, just like okay, try everything on everything, and it will just kind of eventually fall into place. But yeah, I think that like for how often they make really bad Clank puzzle segments, that this one they actually did a really good job with it.
I'm glad they kind of figured it out.
But with that, the thing I'm here to figure out is my number one moment or sequence. And in unpacking, one of the things that I enjoyed the absolute most out of the game was seeing the items that you carry over between each level. That I think it really helps kind of sell a lot of the narrative elements. But there is a specific point in that game when I am opening up and looking for things where I hit the point in one of the bedroom boxes where I'm pulling out all of the stuffed animals. And it's like, oh, it's like, oh, let me pull out this chicken and these little chicks, all these things. And ever since the beginning of the game, there has been this stuffed pig. And each level that you take the pig into, the pig gets a little more beat up every single box. So like it gets to the point where like some buttons start falling off, and at one point it gets like a patch on it. And I'm pulling out all the stuffed animals, get them out of the box, reach the end of the box, close it up. No pig comes out. And immediately I'm like, oh, fuck. So I do a thing that I had not done in that game up until that point. I just tear open the box. I just start throwing everything out onto the floor, just digging, close the box, like dig. And I did that for every box in the fucking house until one random box in the kitchen, I found the pig. And the moment of relief of finding that fucking pig was like the most actual investment I have had in a goings on in the game probably the entire year. Like it was a snap thing of like, where's the fucking pig? And then just dig. And that's like half of the storytelling in that game is kind of done through that style, but the way that particular one had an effect on me of like getting me to actually give a shit about these items and like go looking for the particular ones, I think it completely hits home the feeling that game is trying to evoke with like, obviously unpacking your shit when you move, because I know that feeling and trying to dig through and find a certain thing, but then like seeing this kind of like damaged, beat up item get worse throughout the game, and then it's like, oh no, did the fucking pig finally like just get too ratty or something? But sure enough, you do find the pig makes it through all the way to the end of the game, even just getting progressively more beat up as time goes on. And searching for the pig is without question my favorite moment or sequence of 2021.
That's a cool game.
Unpack. Hey, we'll talk about it. We'll get there.
How are the pig physics though?
They're great.
You can make the pigs and other stuffed animals play soccer, because when you get to the end of the level, you can do a replay of everything you did. So you can have them do battles and move them around in like a stop motion kind of thing. But Ryan, what is your number one stop motion pig battle sequence of 2021?
It's actually not a pig battle. It would be an elephant battle. Because it is the same as Hunters, just killing that elephant. It's like a lot of stuff stands out in that game, but that part specifically, just playing it through with you, Dash, just both of us being like, what the fuck is happening?
Because like it was already striking kind of a weird like tone of like, I can't quite get the vibe this game is going for, And then that one was like very firmly, oh, this is not meant for kids. This is not a kids game.
No, not at all. But good shit.
Yeah. What is the elephant's fucking name?
Cutie.
Cutie. That's what it is.
Of course
Ah.
it is.
Hunter, what is
Yeah.
if not killing an elephant? What is your number one?
I really liked the Emmy encounters in Metroid Dread. because
Why?
My fucking brother.
because they're like, well, for one, it's
Oh
something
my
different
God,
than
yes!
Metroid, because like the closest thing before that would be like the SAX stuff and Fusion, but this one they varied it up with stuff, and it's it's nice tension.
Like I didn't hate it every time, but some of the times it just felt pointlessly difficult to get through the sections.
I don't
And
like
like the
ice
water,
one.
the water one is so bad.
Ice one's a little annoying.
I don't
But
think I've gotten to that one.
All the
yet.
rest of them, fucking,
The water
everyone
one is
has
by
shit
far
on the
my
fucking
least
Emmy
favorite
segments.
point in that game. The water Emmy is horrible.
The only one I had trouble with was the speed booster one.
because he's so fast.
Yeah. How am I supposed to outrun him? I don't have the speed booster. He got it.
I think it's the purple one that I had a decent amount of trouble like getting the shots lined up for, because it's the one where it's like you have to like run to the end really quick and then just kind of like wait there for it.
Oh, I didn't mind any of the like times where I had to kill it. Like once I had the like special gun power to kill the Emmys, those I was fine with. Like a couple of them took a few tries and they annoyed me, but I only really disliked actual like having to stealth through to get through the section to do some shit, and then I have to like zigzag back through the section, and then I get the power up to just go back and then fucking kill the dumb metal cat.
I like both parts. I like everything about the Emmys. I get the ice one's a little annoying, but I like all of the Emmys. I think they're a wonderful addition to that game, and I
I
feel
like
like I'm
their
the only one
names.
who has thought that.
I would say
think-
the Emmys kill any replayability of that game for me,
Oh,
because I don't think I would want to do their shit again.
See, I
But,
feel
like-
like Emmys would actually help the replayability if you're doing like speedrun stuff, because that you got to pick file C. It's got the best RNG. It's got best Emmy RNG.
like having to like when I'm doing like my speed stuff on Dread, like escaping the Emmys and like running around them and avoiding them feels cathartic and good. Like I fucking love the Emmys. I think they're a fantastic addition to the game, and I
Also,
know almost nobody seems to think that.
I think they made it a little too easy for them to sense you, like through walls and like across different
You're
rooms.
clanking around with big old metal boots.
I know, but it's just fucking annoying.
No, Jason put the foam on his boots.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got the foam upgrade.
Mhm.
I actually really like how the purple one has a longer line of sight because it can
Maybe
see
that's
through
the one
walls
that
and shit.
I think that's the one that might have pissed me off the most, was the purple one.
Well, I think we've got a contender now. I think this might be our first contender.
Bitch, we
No,
had a
but it's-
contender since the
It's
start.
not on a game level though.
Look, Hunter, we haven't talked about it yet, and if it doesn't come up, then it doesn't have to fucking be divisive now, does it?
It's gonna come up.
I know, but we're gonna see how it comes up.
What's gonna come up?
We'll get there. But anyway, Jason, what's
Halo
gonna
not
come up,
being
Jason?
good.
What's your number one?
My number one is also from It Takes Two, but it is not that really awesome fun sequence. Mine was just like one of my favorite actual gameplay portions, which was the nail throwing.
That part was
I
pretty
just,
fun.
I just,
Knife and axe.
Good shit.
like I played as the guy, so I was the one throwing the nails. So it was just fun throwing the nails to like pin down a platform, or throwing a nail to have the other person like jump and swing on it. And then you had to like throw your nail to do a thing, and then like as they jumped, you had to whistle to bring your nail back and throw it at the next thing. So I just think that the timing required for the nail throwing bit was pretty fun.
Jason,
I
you
liked
played that new
throwing
God
the
of War?
nail into
What?
Zen.
You played that new God of War?
I've never played a God of War
I bet you'd
single
like that
second
new-
in my life.
I think you'd like that new God of War a lot.
Just because it has a throwing and calling back mechanic.
Yeah, it's really good. It feels
It's not
really
a
good.
nail though.
It feels really good. See, I didn't get to do that.
Not
now.
a- It's
I
not.
don't
It's
know
not a
this
ben-
joy.
It's not a bendy nail.
It's true.
I liked
Um,
throwing the nail into Zane because it would stick and he'd get stuck until I whistle it back.
I see. I got to swing on the nails. I got to do cool platforming stuff.
Yeah, and I got to throw the nails at Dash.
Sounds like Ryan had the better time.
I
Lost
did.
on me. Yeah, I think my.
I mean, It Takes Two showed up on my list, not Dash's.
Yeah, because I
It's
didn't have the
true.
nail. Yeah, I feel like I'm left out here. I'm the only one who didn't have an It Takes Two moment.
Your life would have been different if you had the nail.
You're the only one that played as the girl.
I liked the plane segment a lot.
That one was pretty good.
Is that the one where you're fighting the squirrel?
Yeah, but also the two
Yeah.
you have to steal. Yeah, I that's a really fucking cool game they made.
It's a good game.
I'm probably
Yeah.
gonna play it again, I think.
It's a good game that I wish I could just replay bits by myself and have like a perfect computer second player.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like the frustration and camaraderie of playing with the humans.
No, I agree.
It
It's just-
adds
it's
to
hard.
it.
It's hard to like. I mean, I played through it all the way once, and I don't see myself being able to get through it all the way again to play as these switched characters
I agree.
Mm.
as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
But on that, those are our moments or sequences, and I certainly hope that you will join us next time for biggest surprise. Thought about saying something that it's not going to be, so that it'd be a bigger surprise when we
Oh.
get to it.
Oh,
But I didn't want to throw off anyone in here.
it
so I
would be
didn't do
a
it. I
surprise.
didn't do it. But join us next time.